Good evening, everyone. It's your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva, here to do a review of Queen Sugar, Season 1, Episode 5, By Any Chance. And Facebook Live is just telling me, congrats, this is my 100th broadcast. What? A diva been busy, but I always have a lot to say, but mostly just about these here reviews. So I am behind this week. I'm behind on a couple of my reviews, but I'm hoping that tomorrow I can get completely caught up because Secrets and Lies is not coming on tomorrow. Instead, we will be bringing in the clown and the ringmaster because the debates are coming on tomorrow. Bless us all. This particular episode opened with Nova and White Chocolate. I forgot what this man's name is. But anyway, you know, the white police officer that's oh so sexy that turns out that he's married and he down here to Nova's house getting him some chocolate. He wants some brown sugar. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Chantel. I hope you guys can chime in because I'm trying to do this because I'm 2 episodes behind on these reviews. Nova is performing a protection ceremony for Too Sweet because if you remember in the last episode, Too Sweet was badly beaten in this adult prison. Turns out he's only 17 years old and is in a federal prison. And apparently, the state of Louisiana does not follow the constitutional rules of the Fifth Amendment's due process. Let me tell y'all something. Normally, when you have a criminal case that's pending, as you know, they always say you have a right to a speedy trial. Normally, that's a 180-day calendar length. Okay, that's from pre-trial motions, that's from preliminary hearings, suppression hearings, all of that. And Too Sweet, and just to back up and kind of talk about real life, let me look up the name of this child I just posted about. But I don't know if you remember, there was a 16-year-old that was arrested that spent 3 years in Rikers Island. He was never convicted of a crime. The crime was ultimately dismissed, but he spent a lot of time in solitary confinement. Oh, hey, Chantel, that's just the way the criminal justice system works because, but if you can't afford an attorney and the public defender's office is all backlogged, which a lot of them are because, number one, the pay tends to not be worth shit when you work as a public defender. The work is rewarding, but the pay is crap. When I clerked there, I was on the stipend, which was a blessing because I found out the interns at the DA's office weren't getting paid anything at the time. But I got paid a stipend of $600 a month. And I was working very hard for that $600 a month at the public defender's office when I was a clerk. Jay-Z is doing a movie about that. I can't remember the name of the young man, but ultimately he committed suicide after, the effects. And he had attempted multiple times, and that last time he succeeded in committing suicide. Let me see if I can find it because I posted about that story. And a lot of people started reposting it because it really disturbed. Okay, his name was Khalif Browder. That was his name. And that's the young man who ultimately killed himself. And I think that in some ways, I haven't read the book for Queen Sugar, but I'm wondering if Ava DuVernay and all of them, he committed suicide back in 2015, Chantel. Yeah, I think it was like in the summertime. His mom said she heard a thud and went and saw where the thud came from and didn't see anything. But when she went outside, that's when she saw her son hanging from where the air conditioner had been. So very tragic tale. Unfortunately, there are many stories like this that go unheard because they, like the criminal justice system, as Nova pointed out, is built on black bodies. So there you go. I don't see how Nova and White Chocolate Cop are going to make it because he doesn't understand fully the black experience. He only understands his experience as a white male cop in New Orleans whose father was a cop, his uncles was a cop, his daddy's father was I mean, it's just like we don't have time for all that. The problem is that he was upset because Nova has written this expose to expose the fact that the New Orleans cops are using the prison system as a means to get money to keep their lights on at the expense of young people. Because a lot of these people that are being locked up are like teenagers being picked up for like, I mean, who gets picked up for a joint these days and actually does any real time for it anymore, considering that the mandatory sentencing guidelines have been modified. So if anything, it should have been a misdemeanor. It should have been a suspended sentence, perhaps. It should have been settled right then and there in court. The judge should have just handled it. He shouldn't be sitting in jail. I can tell you that much. He really shouldn't be. So, I think that ultimately, based upon this conversation, and this is going to be the end of Nova and White Chocolate's conversation, I think one of the things that really turned the tides in their relationship is when that one dude that she sells weed to comes to the door and he tells her, you know, it's really horrible what's happening to Too Sweet. And, you know, that spliff they picked up on him. And for those of you who don't know what a spliff is, that's just a joint. It was your weed, because I guess Nova is the neighborhood weed lady. I don't know. And then she felt really guilty. And her boyfriend goes on further to say that the kid broke the law and you running around here selling drugs. And she was like, it's just weed. And I'm like, that's right, girl. Get him together about weed. It's weed. It is not a drug. A drug you have to mix up and cook something. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm channeling my inner Cat Williams. Remember, he said weed is an herb, not a drug. Okay. Needless to say, they break up. That's when we learned dude had a damn key to her house. I said, you let a married man have a key to your house? Really? But okay, I mean, hey. And he said something so cold to her. He was like, I really used to wonder why you picked me, a white cop. But now I realize you only wanted company. I was like, oh damn. That's cold-blooded. Also in this episode, we see the relationship of mother to son, Charlie and Micah. Micah is up to going to a new school. He doesn't really care. All he knows, he just wants to get the hell out of that damn school where he has to see Stella and his little friends every day. I don't know if they ever cleared up the fact that the penis pic was not his penis. I don't know. One of the things that touched me about this episode, yes, Chantel, I am. I'm forever probably going to be this way. Charlie and Micah. One of the most poignant things he said during this episode was he'll go see the therapist because his mom's like, you've been through a lot. I think you really need to see a therapist. You know what? That's why I really love this show, because it addresses, and I'm really loving all of the programming, this new programming that Cousin Oprah is putting together. Yeah, y'all know I call Oprah Winfrey Cousin Oprah, and the reason why is because we were both born and raised in Mississippi. At least I was for a time up until I was 7. So I think that's good to address the fact that just because you're black, you don't need to go see somebody. And I'm glad that them as parents are trying to get their sons some help. And you also see a strain between Micah and his father, because he's so torn between mom, dad, which one do I pick? So Charlie's like, you need to go to the therapist. He says, I don't want to talk about my feelings because I don't have any. And I was like, oh my God, this poor baby. He doesn't have any feelings. And that really hurt me, because I'm like, he's so young. He's only 15 and he's basically experiencing trauma. So I'm glad that Charlie is at least trying to head it off. So good for him. At the end of the episode, it is concluded because Micah said he's tired of being surrounded by paparazzi. He doesn't want to go to school because he has to see Stella all the time, his first little heartbreak. And so it's decided that they're going to move to St. Josephine for the remainder of the school year and maybe start again because we need a fresh start. And I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I've seen episode 6. I think everybody need a fresh start after the bomb that got dropped. But we'll talk about that in the next video. Aunt Vi, I'm going to wrap up her story also. Her boss, excuse my language, but I'm just going to say he was a fucking asshole. I was like, you little prick. You don't know anything about customer service, about human connection. You don't know anything. And I can already see that you feeling yourself. You think you know it all. Okay. And, you just insecure because you don't know what you doing in your job. Okay, but Aunt Vi do, and Aunt Vi could run, what is it? I forgot what the place is called, the little diner she works at is called. Is it the High Yellow or something? I'm like, oh Lord, that's southern as it gets when it comes, Yellow Hammer, whatever. But either way, he's got all these alleged great ideas talking about, we're going to have a greeting and we're going to do this. And Vi's like, ha, child, please, I'm not doing that. He also, he tries to belittle Vi and try to make her seem like she's just some old, washed up country bumpkin, and that's not the case. One of the things that really pissed me off is when he confronted her in front of her friends. They just sitting there having a laugh. They the old lady gang, honey. They got black girl magic, and the only other thing is that, her friend works for Chevron is talking about how successful they all are. And the problem is that Aunt Vi, in her mind, is not as successful as her friends. One's a lawyer, one's a VP. And so she feels some type of way. And I really felt for her because I'm like, Aunt Vi, in your own way, you are a successful girl. You have managed to survive and keep that family together when it should have been falling apart. You are now their rock. So I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're less than, because I think all of us are successful in our own right. But I really hated that dude Vince because, there are managers out there like that, man. They see you as a threat. They will come for you. They will berate you, try to tear you down and make it seem like you ain't. Basically, there will be days when you feel like you ain't shit. And that's what Aunt Vi felt like she was. He was doing everything in his power to break her spirit. When he embarrassed her, to you need to get back up and work. I'm like, girl. No, he didn't. See, I probably would have hauled off and slapped him like Aunt Vi felt like she wanted to. But she was embarrassed and she left and she calls Hollywood. And then this is when we find out Hollywood got a woman at home. Oh, shit. And it ain't none other than Cousin Pam. Maxine Shaw, attorney-at-law, Erica Alexander returns to television, y'all. I think the last time we saw her was in AMC's A Low Yellow Sun or something like that. That actually was a good show and it only lasted one season. I don't know what's up with that. But AMC does that sometimes because they ended that one show that I used to like, that cop show about, what was it called? The Grove. So we find after he gets off the phone with Aunt Vi, because Aunt Vi had to call somebody to make her feel better about being embarrassed in front of her friends. I said, Vince need his behind whoop. Boy, you barely know how to wipe your butt. Okay, you don't know nothing in life. But that's when they find out that he going to the hospital, and Hollywood was like, whoa, that's not my wife. I know what the papers say. But we just still married because she needs the insurance, okay? And that's an honorable thing to do. But one of the things that disappoints me about Hollywood is that we've got secrets and lies going on here. You should have told Vi your full situation instead of being afraid to tell her, because now she's going to look like a fool when all of this comes out. and falls out the closet. So come to find out that his wife's name is Lynn, played by Erica Alexander. She is bipolar. She is on suicide watch in this episode. The doctor tells him, I can't release her unless you take her because you're listed as her emergency contact. So he does take her home, helps her get together, and then we have a Halle Berry Monsters Ball moment with her. She was trying to get Hollywood so bad. She was like, oh, Hollywood, make me feel good. Make me feel good. And I was like, and Hollywood was strong. I was like, yeah, hold on, brother. Hold on, brother, because you already done messed up, but don't cheat. Don't cheat with your wife. Okay. So she was trying to get a feel-good moment until Hollywood got that phone call from Aunt Vi. And then she was like, who is Vi? And I was like, oh, here come the bipolarishness coming out. And I was like, oh, shit. And I hope she don't answer the phone. And instead of answering the phone, she threw the phone across the room. There is a moment in the show when they do have a heart-to-heart, and he tells her, we already made a commitment to go our separate ways, but you can look and see Lynn's face is like, I ain't never letting you go. You are my man, Hollywood. And he was like, I've started over, and your cousin coming over to take care of you. I've done all I can do. I'm just going to make sure that you're taken care of. Chantel, you know that's what did because see, I watch so many movies until I draw parallels, and I read a lot too. So I just totally feel like that was a Halle Berry Monsters Ball moment right there, girl. I was like, she trying to get her some Hollywood. And we learned later on in this episode that Vi love her some Hollywood because he big and strong, and she love his package, and he know right what to do with Vi. I was like, oh shit. Can we say devil in a blue dress? You hit my spot. You hit my spot. Okay, let me stop. Back to Aunt Vi, because I want to wrap up her and Hollywood's storyline together. The scene when Aunt Vi has said, that's it, I've had enough, I'm getting my shit and packing up and leaving, is when Vince, her young man, that boy looked like he ain't no more than about 18, 19 years old. He says, Vi, wait a minute, did you try to shorten up this register? Is it that you can't count or you're stealing? And I was like, no, he didn't accuse Aunt Vi of stealing. No, he didn't. But girl, y'all, yes, he did. And she said, graciousness is something you know nothing about. But I'm going to show you some graciousness by saving your life. Because if I have to stay up in here with your narrow behind, I'm going to kill you. I quit. And she threw that and walked the hell out. I was like, that's right. And then she went on home with her nieces, and they smoked the joint and had some good laughs. I really appreciate that scene between the borderline women, because I was like, that's what family is all about, bonding and leaning on each other. We learn also that Nova is sexually fluid, so she could have been with chocolate white man, chocolate black man, or she could be with a woman. Stay tuned for next episode, because we talk about that too. But I just really thought that was a great moment with the borderline women. And you know, Aunt Vi being so free and talking about her relationship with Holly and how he makes her feel oh so good. Apparently so, because Lynn went crazy for it. After Charlie gets off the phone with her son Micah, he tells her, have a good time in St. Joe. But we find out she is not in St. Joe. Instead, she's going to see Davis's hoe. Okay, Miss Goldie, Melina Gulati, or whatever her name is. Baby, Miss Gulati living good as a sex worker. I don't know if that was her mama or a maid. I don't know. You know, I don't know if anyone noticed this, but if you pay attention to how she said, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. Does Davis know you're here? And there's a familiarity there. And I'm just like, And she asked Charlie point blank if she's ever been raped. And can you ever unrape somebody? And Charlie was like, I know my husband didn't rape nobody. You sex worker, prostitute, it don't matter. You do what you got to do to make your money. You a hoe. I was like, okay, girl, calm down. So, you know, she offered her $500,000 and girlfriend ain't taking it. That's when the attorney calls Estelle. I forgot what her last name is. Estelle was like, what the hell are you doing? Are you trying to fuck up my case or what? Um, oh yeah, that was a powerful sentence too, is when old girl said, um, after Charlie said, my husband didn't rape you, she was like, you don't know half about your husband, Mrs. Davis. I was like, girl, I don't think any of us know Davis very well. But I do know this. That video told us he was with her. Either way, the attorney confirms that her sources have said there is a rape kit. They're preparing this for trial. What the hell were you doing going to see his hoe? You need to you need to start listening to me. All I can tell you is your husband is a rich black man and they gonna see him as O.J. Simpson without the knife. All they know, he raped a white woman. And she was like, but she's not white. And she was like, by the time the media gets done with her, honey, she will be white. So you need to go ahead and start liquidating assets and get ready to just do a big payoff, because the civil claim is going to be substantial. I can keep him out of jail because she a hoe, but I don't know what else to tell you, sweetie. Meanwhile, after she gets this news, she calls her little brother. We all know that poor Ralph Angel with his beautiful self. By the way, have y'all seen his brothers? Them some nice looking young men. Yes, maybe. Okay, let me stop. Raw has messed up. Okay, $15,000 wasted. His sister was like, you know what, I'm just gonna come down there and take over, because I don't think I can trust you to do. I'm just gonna get things on track and then I'll let you take back up. But right now, this ain't working. This ain't working. So then Ralph Angel pretends that there's a reception problem, and hangs up, and that's when he runs up on Shady Melvin. He was like, yo, man, what's up with that sugar cane? Your cousin sold me. And that's when Shady Melvin was like, I say, man, you know, that really was a play cousin. I was like, this ninja. Okay, you know, we grew up on the same block. I said, okay, this is not good for Ralph Angel. I can't. So then we move on to Charlie and Remy. Woo, Remy Newell, honey. That Dondre Whitfield, he sure is a nice looking young man. Yes, he's such a gentleman. So he comes by the house. He asks her, she alone. I was like, why you want to know if she alone, Remy? What y'all gonna be down with? You know she's a woman scorned, right? So he basically is there to have her talk to Mr. Prosper, who is like, I ain't got time to do this. But I think in all honesty, because Mr. Prosper was a friend of their dad's, that's the only reason he would ever give it any time of day. And so he tells her, and this also is a funny scene because you can see the generational divide, because like Charlie is this modern day woman using technology to take notes, and Mr. Prosper, what you doing there? What you doing there? Are you talking to me? Because you know what, y'all took me away. I was supposed to be on a fishing trip. I was supposed to be down here to the pond or down here to the bayou fishing. So needless to say, he said he gonna help him, but this is gonna be disastrous all the way around. Ralph Angel is at work. He finds out the hard way that his check short. Hey, say boss, check short. So, Mr. Earl, this ain't right. I worked 40 hours and you only bill me for 32. And he said something powerful here. He says, out of you ain't been free for too long. You ain't been on the outside, but freedom ain't free. You know what I mean? I was like, goddamn. And once again, here comes shady ass Melvin. Say, dude, for years they've been taking from us. Let's take from them. You know, I'll hook you up. And Ralph Angel's like, nah, man, I'm cool. I just can't do that. And did y'all see Ralph Angel took off running? I was like, run, Ralph Angel, run. And he did. Oh, here we go. Auction day. The day that we learn that Charlie is hard-headed and don't listen to no damn body. Sam Landry, racist, sexist ass is there. And he says to her, ooh, I'm so surprised to see you considering all that trouble you got back down there in California. I mean, most women would have had their head under the covers. And she's like, well, I'm not most women. He said, don't see a lot of y'all here either. Or even your kind, ain't that right, Prosper? So what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Not kind. Like, what are you talking about? So needless to say, she's like, well, where's Ralph Angel? Girl, you know your little brother on parole. He got to work all the hours he can to keep his parole officer from locking him back up, okay? Because like Ralph Angel said, the parole officer don't give a damn about the fact I got to feed my kid. All he care about is a damn pay stub. So everybody comes. Vi, Remy, Ralph Angel, the whole family. The border ones are there. Mr. Prosper's there. Remy's there. You know, but the bidding starts. Sam Landry done set her up to take the fall to bid on shit she don't even need, but just to show that she got a checkbook and, you know, she can talk, she can do the walk, and talk the talk. She bidding on shit. And Mr. Prosper was like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm getting out of here. I am getting out of here. Charlie just fell for the okie doke. But at least at the end of the day, after doing all this bidding, because mainly Vi and Ralph Angel were like, can we at least get your dad's tractor? At one point, Remy gets up, leaves. That's when we learn at the end of the day when Charlie looks like a fool and has egg on her face, and everyone is telling her that we're so disappointed in you. Remy has a rabbit to pull out, and that is he got Charlie's dad's tractor, because what he did was he had basically a proxy bid on that tractor because Sam Landry was just there to be messy anyway. It's not like he needed any new equipment. And plus they saw, well, Charlie ain't gonna listen to Mr. Prosper or me, so let me go ahead, and I told your daddy I would do right by you, so that's what I'm gonna do. Mr. Prosper told her, he was like, you know what? He got in her ass. He was like, I'm too old to help you. I just want to kick back in my last days and fish because either you don't listen or you don't trust. Either way, I'm out. Peace, deuces. Meanwhile, back in Cali, Davis and Micah are at odds. Davis wants to have dinner with his son, but his son picked up a burger from someplace out with his little friend. And, you know, that's when basically you can tell that Micah is like, I'm not interested in hanging with you anymore. And, you know, Davis is trying to be that doting father. You know, I want to be here for you. I want to know, how was your interview with the private school? And that's when a bomb gets dropped. Micah says, I'm no longer interested in playing basketball. Basically, Davis, because of your antics, you've ruined the game for your son. And you've also lost his respect. You know, he's having a really hard time with this. The episode closes with Charlie getting a call from Molina, Davis's side chick, who says she wants $3 million and to sit down with Davis. This is all non-negotiable. And Charlie says, okay, we will meet with you in Houston this one last time. And that's how the story closes. Thank you all for joining that did join. Let's see who all logged in with me. Chantel, Rachel, Charles, Lewis. Let's see. That's it. Anyways, good night, good evening, good morning. Whatever time of day you're watching this video. I am Miss Sophia the Diva. This has been my review of Queen Sugar, Season 1, Episode 5, By Any Chance.